Hey, it's Corey Quinn. In this video, I'm going to share with you an impromptu coaching session with Carson. He runs a digital marketing agency doing about 500K, working primarily with fence and deck contractors. So I met Carson at a conference and he asked a lot of really great questions that I thought that you might benefit from as well, including how do I stand out when I'm competing against massive agencies like Scorpion? What I love about this conversation is that Carson's already doing some of the things really, really well. He's getting clients from Facebook ads, and he just closed a deal from local cold calling. But he's wondering, is there a better way? A more relationship-driven way? So on this call, you're gonna hear me talk through the exact playbook I used at Scorpion to break into new markets, not through paid advertising, but through strategic relationship building, local networking, and creating experiences that leave lasting impressions. A few things to listen for. First, why specialization matters even more when you're small. Second, the counterintuitive truth about Scorpion's growth. It wasn't built on Facebook ads at all. And third, how to turn being a small agency into your competitive advantage, not a liability. Whether you're running a $500,000 agency or a $5 million agency, the principles are the same. Process beats personality and relationships beat reach. All right, let's jump in. So what's going on with the firm?
Yeah, well, since that agency or since that event, I had watched your trainings on the kind of like Dream 100
Yes.
personalized. Yeah. And like, I've kind of, that's always attracted me, but I haven't really dove in. So I know that you did that with Scorpion, and I've always looked at Scorpion like, we're not Scorpion. Like, we're 40 something K a month right now. And we want to grow. I don't know how large we're going to get to. And so I really was kind of like curious because you came up with that or almost spearheaded that strategy with them, and it just seems so awesome and effective. And I'm like, what are like beyond that, how can a small marketing agency like us like stand out in such a saturated market? I mean, HVAC is one, but keep in mind, like, we also work with fence and deck, and we're like seeing that as way more blue ocean. Like, these guys are not getting bombarded as much.
Yeah.
So I don't know if anything like stands out with that, but I really wanted to focus on sales and marketing with you because that's where you really, blew my mind.
Yeah, well, so first, for the foundational layer, and you've gotten this if you've watched any of my stuff, but really the foundational layer is a specialization. So if you're going to focus on fence, deck and fence, either have a separate part of your website or have a separate website that just speaks to the fact that, hey, we are experts. Like, we understand your world, we understand your problems, we use your language, we've got great client success stories, we've got people who are in this industry who are vouching for us. Like, all of that stuff it's kind of like table stakes, but you need to have it, because what happens is, even if you have a really great gift or a really great outreach program, they're going to want to check you out, right? The way people will shop is that they have to know, like, and trust you. So you want to, they want to know, like, and trust. Part of the liking step is they're going to check you out. They want to see you stuff. They're going to see who are the problems you solve, who else you worked for, what associations you're involved with, all that stuff. So that's kind of table stakes. Assuming you have that foundational stuff, now more than ever, it's a relationship-based world, right? And so it goes back to the concept of the 80-20. I talk about building a 20% list or just focusing on the few people. And so, if anything, it is really being intentional about who are we targeting. So, for example, you could either go out and buy a list of all of the deck and fence contractors in the US and just start emailing them, right? All this stuff. Or you can go and find the top 20%, top 4%, and 20% of the 20% of the people in that market. And then you directly reaching out to them saying, hey, I'm Carson, got this amazing agency. We got this great experience. Would love the opportunity to talk to you about your marketing and see if there's anything we can do to make your experience better. And that alone is going to help you stand out because no one's doing that. And no one, I think, unique and special. Everyone's trying to do the automated stuff, whatnot. And it's not just reaching out, but it's being persistent over a long period of time. So what I mean by that is once you identified a VIP prospect, somebody who's really, really powerful in that space, reach out to them, try to get connections, send them a gift, meet them at a conference. When you're at a conference with them, like the local trade show, give them a gift. Say, hey, well, I really want to make the connection, get to know you. And that whole sort of workflow that takes time, but it results in getting some really great clients.
That's great. And I think the defense of like the specialization makes it's kind of like the final piece of that equation.
Yeah.
You send them the gift, you're personal, likable, they think you're great, and then boom, we also like practice what we are inundated in the world of your industry.
Yes.
We care
Yes.
about it.
Yeah.
And then they're able to like kind of vet you because sometimes that's like the missing link. It's like, okay, you're really cool, but what do you stand behind?
Yeah.
So that makes sense to me.
Another one is that I'll ask, where do you focus locally on generating clients, or do you focus nationally?
I this is kind of almost comical, but like I just did my first round of cold calling locally like a few weeks ago, and we signed up a pretty big fence company, like, and it was super simple. They loved it. We sat there, we were able to fill a specific need, but historically it's been Facebook ads to a mass audience, which is another whole conversation I wanted to have with you.
Yeah. And so you could imagine what it must be like to be a deck maker today who's getting just inundated by agencies that would love to take their money and help them out. And so it becomes very faceless. So a way to build direct relationships is to focus locally. I'm not sure specifically where you are.
I'm in Charlotte, just south of Charlotte. So I'm like maybe 30, 40 minutes from the city.
And I imagine that there's enough deck makers in the local geography that would make it worthwhile to do something, right? So they may have like a local chapter of a association. That's a great sort of honeypot for you to just start to go to those meetings and start to make relationships. Don't be super salesy, relationship driven. Additionally, you can create your own events. For example, one of my clients, it's a previous client, he does something that's called Sip and Search. And he's in Florida and he does it for attorneys. He gets together he brings attorneys in, and the focus is to drink really amazing wines. So he's also a sommelier, but brings in amazing wines and gets some local attorneys who like to drink, whatever, and creates an event out of it. Not super salesy. It's get to know your other attorneys and, that whole thing. So you facilitate experiences and connections, relationships through your own event. That's another idea. What are your thoughts on that?
That's really thought-provoking because the way that you're advising me, it's kind of funny because it's not directly tied to my revenue. It's simply based on, this is like a tried and true methodology of marketing yourself.
Yes.
So I'm like, I've always learned run Facebook ads and cold email, and it's very faceless, like you said. And it's kind of like, that's the stuff that sometimes I'm like, what's the payout in that? And what's the long term? But I see it, and I'm starting to see more of it now. And so it's kind of like making it more of a priority amongst getting sales calls on the computer as well.
Yeah. And I think, I'm not mad that you are doing Facebook ads. I'm not mad that you're doing, other channels. Those can work. Certainly have worked for a lot of people. And so, but this is just more of a relationship-driven way to build your business. Now, over time, as you build your credibility and your visibility in the market, sure, again, Facebook ads may be more powerful because you have better content potentially. I'm not sure, but this is certainly a way to get going. It's just focus locally first.
Yeah, that's huge. And I'm curious because, just seeing the inner workings of Scorpion,
Yeah,
what percentage of their clients came from advertising and what percentage was, yeah,
very small.
yeah, and they're huge.
Yeah.
I mean, compared to they're the biggest marketing agency I've ever heard of,
Yeah,
at least. Then
yeah,
that's probably maybe they're the largest ever, but I don't know,
yeah.
or largest like in this space. But
So the part of that, I mean, it took us a while to get to the place where we had a lot of inbounds. It's kind of a funny story. When I got there, the business was almost all inbounds because every single Scorpion client got a new website. This is back in the day when websites were kind of still a new thing and that SEO was kind of still coming up. Every single client got a new website. We had 1,000 attorneys who all had Scorpion websites that were all ranking in SEO. And that's how people found us, was that they would search for their competitors and they say, well, this Scorpion company keeps coming up. All my competitors are using them. Who are they? They'd call us and we close them. But when we expanded into home services, nobody knew who we were. And so how do we become a known brand? Well, it's a methodology. We use the methodology that I teach in my gift-based outbound, which is that you want to be unique, you want to be striking, and you want to leave a powerful impression. Every gift you send must be unique, striking, and leave an impression. Well, the same is true for if you go to a conference. If you have a booth, for example, don't just have a normal booth, have a unique booth that's striking and leaves an amazing impression, right? So that could be for us. I mean, we were kind of big at this point, so we had a lot of cash. So the thing we would do is we would do a truck giveaway at the booth. We literally had a truck at the booth, and we gave away the car from the booth. And and everyone, the way you would get to win the truck is that you had to come to our booth, get scanned, and on the day 3 of a 3-day conference, you'd have to be back at our booth and we pull a name out of the hat of someone who came to our booth and scan them. And if you weren't present when we called your name, we would call the next name. And so the result of that is that we literally emptied out the conference. Everyone was at our booth, like 3,000 people were surrounding our booth, waiting to see who won the car. That's an example of being unique. Right? If you host an event, be unique, be striking, like really stand out. And so how we entered the home services market is it wasn't through Facebook ads. It was doing gifting, cold calls, going to conferences, and joining associations and leveraging relationships through associations.
how much of because you're selling super high, big companies that have 10 plus million in revenue. We don't
Not
have
always. Not always.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how much of the sales conversation do you remember was around like our results are better than the competitors versus we did all this hard work to earn your business? Like at what point is that brought up? Because sometimes I've found that people don't even ask if I don't bring it up, and I'm like, is this an anomaly or is this just a normal part of these sales?
What don't they ask?
Sometimes I'm like maybe they're checking out our results that are publicly listed on our website before talking to us, but
Yeah.
I'm just curious, like it doesn't seem like every sales conversation that, hey, show us your ROI or show us the results. Like, is just like every now and then that's normal to happen, or is it?
Well, no. So the way I teach it, I teach a whole sales methodology, but it's effectively you want to engineer trust at the beginning of a sales conversation, and the way you do that, it's called the 6-slide trust multiplier. You open up a sales call, you share the agenda. Hey, Carson, good to meet you. You do a little bit of rapport. Here's the agenda for our call. We're going to talk about a little bit about who we are, problems we solve. I want to share with you our proprietary system, client success story, and then I want to learn about you. Right, you go through these 6 slides that the slides I just shared, and as a result of that, all of a sudden they are aware that you are an expert, that you know how to solve their problems. They understand you have a proprietary system. The challenge that many agencies get caught up with is that they say, when they get asked, like, well, what do you do? Oh, we do SEO, we do AEO, we do reviews and all that social media and all that stuff. Problem with that is right off the bat, you're a commodity because there's billions of those, and the switching cost is like, and so what I teach is that you don't sell. That's not what you sell. You sell your proprietary system. It is our system to help you to go from where you are today to where you want to be. So the whole methodology to get there. But it's a long way of saying that you want to share the problems you solve and the results that you get by working with you, or the results your clients get up front. So all of a sudden they know that, okay, these guys know what they're talking about. They got results. And the buyer then shifts to, is my situation going to work for their system or their approach versus is their approach powerful?
So that would be like you guys either that's like they've never made contact to now we're on a Zoom call and this is how it's opened, or is it
Yeah.
salesperson?
Yeah. This is in a sales conversation. It's on the discovery call. It's once someone has maybe received a gift, they say, yeah, glad you guys called. We hate our agency. I want to learn more about what you do. Great. Let's schedule a call. And that's will be the opening of a sales call. And the majority of the sales call is it's a discovery, which is current state, desired state, obstacles, and cost of inaction. Like what's stopping you from getting to the next level? That's a whole sales choreography. Once you run that, people know exactly how to sell them because they'll tell you where they are, what they want, what's stopping them, and what happens if they don't change. You have to feed that back to them. Say, we're going to, our solution, say, get you from where you are to where you want to be. It's going to bypass these obstacles. And as a result of doing this, you won't have to worry about these consequences in your business.
No, it's great. Yeah, it's so funny to think about it that way. And then in terms of like, was Scorpion doing anything like really innovative in terms of marketing? Like, because I know you offered PPC, website, SEO, but
Yeah.
like, direct mail, like, was there a almost secret
It was
linchpin of
the core product was websites and PPC with SEO. So that's it. And what we found is that we wouldn't sell a deal unless they got a website with us and they would do paid search. Because if we just did straight SEO, a lot of them were expecting leads, right? And so the only way we could actually deliver leads to them is through PPC in the short run.
What would you say is like the unique angle of like, you're a massive company backed by, just you're this huge thing. I'm sure like in the sales process, that's this USP. I guess what if you were if you were like to design a sales process for a smaller company that has 15 employees and we were family owned, faith-based, whatever, like, are you trying to manufacture like, but we do it as good or is it like a whole different angle?
There's two reasons why people leave agencies. One is because the performance isn't what they thought it was going to be. They just not get the results. Number two is the experience. This is not specific to Scorpion, but in general, most agencies will be very flat-footed, be very reactionary. Or clients want a true partner, someone who's being proactive and involved in the strategy and sending the client some ideas versus just having the client always trying to chase the agency. And so, if you think about if you're talking to someone, it's likely that they're struggling with both of those. And so you want to be able to talk about, how we get results. But what makes us truly different is that we are a small agency, and that's a feature, not a deficit. Like we built that intentionally because we know that our clients really need a lot of support and they want someone there when they need them, type of thing. So I would really lean into that as a feature.
Yeah, and that's kind of the angle, but I need it's good to have the reassurance because I think those main values. And then, given that the Facebook ads was a small piece of your marketing, can you still speak on, how you guys saw success with that? What like did you put your hand in the Facebook ads fire much, and do you have any take on kind of making that work, or is it
we typically
anything that stands out?
Yeah, I mean, we did a lot, and we did a lot with LinkedIn for attorneys, and it was a high CPA or cost per lead, and the quality was rarely good.
Yeah,
it's just hard, and that's why we just didn't focus that as a primary channel for us. It was mostly events, mostly outbound.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. That makes sense. No, I mean, it's kind of like, I thought about all the things that I could talk about, prior to this call just to see, hey, where could we improve? How can we stand out? How can we? And I do think it's kind of like, it's sort of funny how the answer is, it's sort of what's always worked, the tried and true relationship building, getting into the networks, having people know your name and stuff. And I'm fully capable of doing that. So it's kind of just doing it now because I've always thought that was cool. And I like having that personal relationship with people, but so you're thinking local chapters as well, like Charlotte Fence Company, Charlotte.
100%. 100%.
Yeah. Okay.
That's where we started. And we, our home services, because home services particularly really like the belly to belly kind of relationship building, we did a road show and we would do events all over the US where we would host, we did it a little fancy. We did like a steak dinner, not a sales dinner, but like, come hang out with the other plumbers in the area. We're going to host a dinner. We bring great wine, steak, and it's on us. Just let's get together. Let's have a good time type of thing. Every single time we'd close deals from that. Not because we were like pitching them from the table, but it was like, that was an amazing experience, Carson. Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it. You guys are so great. And just like we put ourselves in a really nice position by doing that.
Yeah. And then it's like, can you do our marketing for us? Yeah, we could check it out.
Of course. If you're treating me so nicely before I'm ever a client, I imagine what it's like to be a client of yours. It's kind of the experience.
The reciprocity, right?
It's super powerful.
This was awesome. Thank you so much, Corey, for the time.
All right. If you found this helpful and you're wondering what's stopping your growth, I've got something for you. I've created an agency growth assessment that diagnoses exactly where you're stuck in sales and marketing and what to do next. It takes about 5 minutes to complete, and at the end, you'll get a personalized scorecard showing the specific bottlenecks limiting your growth and your next best move on where you are right now. Just go to agencygrowthscore.com. That's agencygrowthscore.com. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.